Well, Sonny,
Yeah,
we
I
don't
see
have
that.
an intro for
I
this.
see that. I just told Billy we're on the wrong channel. We don't have an intro on here. Our intro's on the other channel. That's all
Welcome
right.
to the Paranormal Chop Shop. Hey, Spooky Morales, how's it going?
Hey, how's everybody doing?
This is your
Good.
intro, guys. I'm sorry.
We do not have an intro
What?
over on this
We
StreamYard yet.
played Smith's intro.
We could have played my intro.
Yeah, we could have did that. Let's go back. Do overs. No. We're fine.
Yeah, guys,
All
welcome
right,
to the
guys.
Paranormal Chop Shop.
Welcome.
Back on another Friday.
Yeah, we got a good guest tonight. We're going to be talking Bigfoot and cryptids, and
Ooh.
I think we'll have to bring him up and find out here in a minute.
Sam Squamch.
How you guys doing? You ready for this?
Yeah,
I'm
man.
ready.
I got out of work 2 hours ago. I'm ready to rock and roll. I got my coffee made. I'm ready.
We only got 8 people in here.
Yeah, but there's going to be more people. This is a chop shop. Okay.
That's right. And then, yeah, Big Willie might be joining us.
Oh, yeah.
Big Willie.
That's what I heard. He told me earlier. Probably
Yep.
see you guys in there. Like, all right. I'm going to be looking forward to it.
I dropped him a link.
Cool.
So you guys want to get started and bring Gary up?
Yeah, man.
You want to?
Please. Huh?
Yeah, we'll just we'll bring him up and let him tell everybody
Yeah,
who
guys.
he is,
So
what he's about, where he's from, and what he does.
this is Gary Brand with Within the Mist podcast. How's it going, Gary?
Hey, Gary.
Hello, everybody.
How's it going, man? Welcome to the
Oh,
show.
it's going pretty well. Hey, do I look as ghostly as it looks like on here?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Your green
you're,
screen is.
Yeah, what happened with that? It was working fine.
it's almost like it thinks that your shirt's green. That's strange.
Is your shirt gray?
Yeah, it's gray.
Maybe it's the gray background you're trying to put over the gray shirt. That might be what it is.
That is weird. It looks cool, though.
Yeah.
Oh, there
yeah.
you go. Now
It's
you can,
that time.
now you're phasing in and out.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
All
you're
right.
fine, man.
Okay. I mean, I wanted to play up on the paranormal aspect, but that was going a little bit overboard.
Yeah, that was pretty cool, though. Special effect.
Went digital on us.
The ghost in the machine.
Yeah, man.
Well, thank you guys for having me on.
thanks.
You wanted me to introduce myself. My name is Gary Brandt. I'm the co-host of Within the Mist podcast, a podcast about cryptids, ghosts, and other mysteries. We present weekly shows on everything from Bigfoot, Jersey Devil, the Congelier House. So anything that falls within those realms, we will talk about it, present the story, background on it, some of the prevalent theories, and pretty much leave it up to you as the listeners to decide for yourselves what you feel.
Oh, sweet. And how long have you been doing that for?
Well, we've been writers, and we've been writing columns and stuff about this subject, but the actual podcast, Monday will be our 49th episode, so we're about to hit our big 50 in about 2 weeks.
Oh,
Right
sweet.
on.
So we're looking forward to
Congratulations.
doing that. Thank you.
And where can people listen to your podcast?
The Within the Mist podcast is available pretty much on every podcast provider, to include Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. We're even on Audible, which I thought was just, Audible books. But
Yeah.
we're even available there. So
Excellent.
pretty much wherever you listen to podcasts, we're now available on there.
That's cool. Excellent. And so, have you guys always been into this phenomenon, or did something happen to you to spark this interest?
Well, it's funny because everyone keeps asking me what was my most prevalent experience that I've had, either with a cryptid or with a ghost or something. I've had none. I've gone on many paranormal investigations. I've gone on many cryptid walks. I've never seen anything. So I've come to the conclusion that, when you watch the horror movies and, you have the heroes, you have the tough guy, you have the final girl, and they call the crazy scientist or the the old librarian guy, and he's the one that knows everything, but he is not the hero of the movie.
Yeah.
That's me. I am not the hero of the movie. I'm the guy that you call when you're like, there's this ghost in our house. Oh, you shouldn't be in there. There's been a curse there for 120 years. So I'm the guy with a dusty library and everything like that. So I've come to the conclusion that I'm an archivist. So I collect stories, and I collect those. And what I've been doing now is I present those back to the public, and through the internet, through newspapers, through books that other people have written. It's amazing just how much is out there.
And the stories you report, are they true stories? Is what you're doing?
Well, that's up to you to decide. Here's a case in point for you in California. Did you know that California is has the most beautiful sunsets, but it's also home to those people who have gazed up at the Santa Lucia Mountains, and at sunset, people have reported seeing for the hundreds of years tall, cloaked figures staring back just before the silhouettes disappear. They're known as dark watchers. So if you're in California and you look up at the mountains just at sunset, you can see 10-foot tall shadow men with wide brim hats and capes staring back at you down the mountains. Now, is that true? To the people reporting it, they believe it is. So I don't call anyone liars. So like I said, and if I don't see it or not see it for myself, it's for you to judge for yourselves.
Yeah, it's got to be the mountains towards the west somewhere. I'll have to look it up. I'll if there's a spot that shows that, I can maybe find it, and yeah, I'll try to get some pictures, because it's got to be some kind of mountains out towards the west that's casting a shadow.
Well, a lot of people believe that it is a condition where you see what you want to see, and that the way the sunlight is hitting the trees is actually what's casting the shadows, but the figures move.
Oh,
so they move in ways that trees do not. And the way that they vanish all of a sudden kind of adds some aspects to it. Plus, it's only in this mountain range in California. If it is a shadow effect, then it should be prevalent in the Rockies, in the Appalachians.
mm-hmm.
But it's only in California's mountain ranges.
That is a mystery.
So is it true? Is it not? That's for you to go find out.
Gary, do you know if there's any photos of that? Any pictures?
There have been some people who have done some artist renditions, and have there is a pictures of one, but it's obviously it's just like any other Bigfoot photo. It's kind of hazy. It's up to interpretations.
Wow,
What is that?
because I've been in California forever and I've never seen that. Now I got something else new to do.
Well, there you go.
Gary, what did you say that phenomenon was called?
It's called dark watchers.
Dark watchers.
Yeah,
Okay.
most commonly seen in the Santa Lucia Mountains. And you got to go just at sunset.
Yeah, that's the first time I've heard of that too.
Well, they've been seeing, they basically describe it shadows of 10-foot tall men wearing wide-brimmed hats. And they've been seeing them for more than 300 years. There's been documentations of it.
Jeez. And it'd just be like in the distance? Or
Yeah,
is it
you basically, as you're looking up the mountain, as the sun's going behind the mountains, just catching off of the sunset, there's a shadow man looking at you from the sunset.
Okay, I'm going to pull up a picture of one of these artist renditions that I just found to see if this is kind of what you guys are seeing here.
What?
Oh, wow.
Yep. That's the one.
So this is what we're talking about?
Yes.
Where it's, man, so
Yeah,
it's
I've never
towards the
seen
sun.
that.
So yeah, a lot of hikers who are traveling the mountains of California are seeing these individuals, and they'll move, they'll wave, and then they just disappear. And in
That is
fact, these have
bizarre.
been ongoing since the Spanish arrived in the 1700s.
Huh.
That's a trip.
And What's
good stuff, man?
what's like the going explanation for that right now?
Basically, just spirits of the forest, of the mountains.
But is there like
They
a
were trying to say that it was part of the legends of the Chumanish people of California, the Native Americans there.
Mhm.
But folklorists, professors and stuff, investigated, and there's no indigenous American stories connected to it. So it's not even a Native American legend. This is something that they didn't start coming until the Europeans came. So
that is
I'm thinking
bizarre.
it's something that either does not approve of Europeans being in their land, or it's something that the Europeans brought with them at some point during the 1700s. And now
Yeah.
you have giant shadow people walking the mountains.
That's a trip.
That is pretty bizarre looking. I was trying to get different depth perceptions to show that it doesn't really matter what's behind it. Like here, there's a whole mountain range behind it and a bunch of mist, but it's the same shadow figure that you would see that you saw in the other two pictures, but like if it was a tree, you would think that it would only be that shape one time. You'd only see that one shape once.
Yeah,
These
Exactly.
trees are so unique.
that one looks like his arms are down next to him in this picture.
Yeah. Yeah, this one's crazy looking. I mean, they're all pretty crazy looking, but yeah, that's the first time I've seen that. Interesting. I like learning new stuff.
Well, good. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, and
Dark.
I've never
waters.
heard of that before. I've never seen those. I've never seen that.
Mm-mm.
Well, I've discovered that. All right, I'm originally from Ohio, and I had joined the military when I was 20, and moved around for the next 20 years in the military before I retired to Florida. And what I've discovered during all of my travels to different locations is that I have never found a town or a location that doesn't have some house in the town that's haunted, or some woods that doesn't have a monster in it. Every location has their own local legends. So that's what I've been collecting, is all those legends and visiting each of these places.
Yeah,
that's
and
crazy.
I'm not surprised that these guys haven't heard of it either, because there's legends and stuff in Michigan here where I live that I have never heard of before. And you talk to Connor Bigfoot Anon, and he's like, "Oh yeah, did you hear about whatever her name is?"
Right around
And
the
it's
corner
like,
from you.
Yeah, right around the corner.
Yep.
Surprised you didn't know that. Like, man. So yeah, it's cool to get a whole bunch of different cryptids and folklore and stuff like that for each location, because a lot of the locals don't even know some of the stuff that you learn.
Yeah, I was just at a conference about the skunk ape, which is Florida's version of Bigfoot,
Mm-hmm.
and it was being held in Punta Gorda, Florida. And we were learning about a giant turtle creature that lived, a devil turtle that lived in that area, that most of the people in the local area weren't even aware of. That that the lake that they were boating in might have a turtle larger than their boat.
Yeah, Sonny was actually telling me about a turtle that had trees growing out, or no, yeah, it had
Yeah,
trees growing
right.
out of it.
Yeah.
A tree,
And
a
somebody,
tree.
what was it? Somebody docked their boat to it or something. They thought they were on an island.
The
Yeah, so there's
water
a
had
couple of different
receded.
ones.
The water had receded, and it was during like a depression. So people were going out and getting fish off the floor. When the water had receded, the fish just stayed. They ran out of water. These other people found a chest, and in the chest, they tried to open the chest thinking it was going to be gold or money, or they found a treasure. They got the chest open, and it was full of cannonballs. So they spent all this time while the water had went out, and to dig up this and open this chest of cannonballs. And on the way back, when the water started coming back in, they seen a little island with a tree growing out of it. So I guess they figured, that'll be safe, because if that tree grew there, the water's not gonna be too high up. So they went and got on this island. The water came back in, and the island took off. And it's a family, I think, I want to say a 4 or 5, a family of 5 maybe. And it's a turtle, one of the family members looks over the edge and sees the turtle's head, and it swims back to shore and takes them to shore. That's in the a myth. That's in their myth that they tell. And then sometime in, I think, the 1940s, they found where in that lake that they're talking about, there in Michigan, they found this huge, gigantic dead turtle carcass. Big, like, that could have been like the myth. That's where the myth came from, was this big turtle. Yeah. But they actually found that in, I think it's the 40s, 1940s.
Okay.
So
that
yeah,
would have fallen in about the same time frame as the Beast of Busco.
What's that?
The Beast of Busco is another giant turtle. His name was Oscar, and this poor farmer buys this property. It has this like Volkswagen-sized snapping turtle that was basically eating livestock off of the shore, and he tried everything to try and catch this turtle. And it became such a spectator event that senators and everyone else was trying to be there when he caught it. And it kind of worked out kind of like a Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner cartoon. You know, he would try and dynamite it and the turtle would escape. He would put up a giant net. The turtle would rip through it. He even drained the lake. And the turtle just buried itself in the mud. And because of its size and its shell, they couldn't identify where it was in the mud. And eventually it got so bad that the poor farmer went bankrupt. You know, he destroyed his health. He destroyed his farm. Yep, that's it, Oscar.
Good old Oscar.
And yeah, so and to this day, they're still looking for, you know, him because so many people had seen it. And, you know, some snapping turtles can get very large. So they believe that there had to been some basis, because it's kind of hard to believe a guy would let himself go bankrupt or, you know, destroy his health like that for nothing.
Yeah. And then the turtle in the Michigan story, from the myth, it was supposed to be a huge snapping turtle, but the turtle they found in that area was a giant box turtle. I don't even know what that is, but that's what it was.
Yeah,
well,
we have those
another
here.
funny thing that happened with Oscar is that they thought they could lure Oscar out, so they got a giant leatherhead sea turtle because they can be about 300 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And so they brought it out on the shore thinking Oscar would get, you know, romantically inclined and he would come out to, you know, meet this lady turtle.
Yeah.
But either he's not into sea turtles or Oscar's a she, because he never did make an appearance. So
I like when the community embraces a cryptid like this, like a story.
Yep.
Oh yeah. The town thrived off of Oscar. It's just the poor farmer did not.
Right. The poor farmer was the one that he got the short end of the stick there for sure.
Yeah, and that's usually what happens.
But yeah, most communities, when they have a story like that, then they kind of embrace it, and then they make it like a festival type thing where there's a whole festival around that cryptid that happened in that area. So it's interesting to learn about that stuff, especially from your own state. Do you happen to know, since you're from Ohio, do you happen to know of any, like, I guess, not so well known cryptids from Michigan or from this area?
Well, Michigan is mostly the Michigan Dogman.
Right.
He's the most prevalent one that comes out of the Michigan area. For me, Ohio, it's the Ohio Grassman.
Okay,
and
I haven't heard of Grassman.
I'm sorry?
I haven't heard of the Ohio Grassman before.
Yeah, the Ohio Grassman is basically Ohio's version of Bigfoot, but the slight difference with him is he's a little bit larger, being taller and more muscular because he's a little bit more violent. And they call him a grassman because he actually makes these grass mounds that he lives in basically as a hut. So they find these giant grass homes out in the woods that basically are his nests.
Huh.
So they've been calling him the Ohio Grassman.
That's interesting. Now that you mentioned these grass homes, I looked it up on Google. I'm gonna pull up a picture real quick. I feel like I've seen these going through the woods before on 4-wheelers.
Exactly, and that's what most people say is that they were like, oh yeah, I've seen one of those, and I'm like,
Oh.
well,
Big
then
old
you've
grass
seen-
hole.
yeah,
Grass
and
hole.
and they don't know who's making them, so it's been said that these are being made by the Ohio Grassman, which is basically a Bigfoot that lives in these little mounds.
And Gary, you said that the Ohio Grassman is known to be more violent. How violent? What kind of damage has he done?
Oh, he tears out trees and so forth. That's why I said he is considered a stronger version of Bigfoot because he will uproot trees and has been known to
Jeez.
throw logs and stumps at people to chase them away. So
Whoa.
he's not where you just hear the sound, you just hear the calls and the tree knocking. He actually will chase people out. A little bit more territorial.
Yeah.
One common example, I don't know if he's actually a grassman or just another variant, but he's in Ohio, is the Minerva monster, which is a Bigfoot. So I think it is a grassman. It's just a specific one where a family in Minerva, the creature was basically chasing them, and the loud screamings that they heard from the creature pretty much terrified the area. And so he got the name Minerva Monster.
It's so interesting how so many places have. So that's a good question. How many of these do you think are all the same thing? Like the Minerva monster, and like, do you think each one of these is like a Sasquatch, or do you think from each individual spot they're different? They're different cryptids.
Okay, that's a real common debate here in Florida, because if you go to Florida, southern Florida has the skunk ape, which is its footprints are different because it only has 4 toes. But if you look at footprints in northern Florida, they have the traditional 5 toes of a Sasquatch. So it kind of gives you the identification that these are 2 totally different species. So you have a Bigfoot in northern Florida and you have a skunk ape in southern Florida. Also, if you want to look at it scientifically, some people argue that these creatures are very limited in their range and their populations. So with interbreeding and over the centuries, even if they were all the same creature, because they're locked into their own little communities, the interbreeding and stuff would kind of diverge them into separate species.
That makes sense, because humans are kind of the same way.
Exactly.
So, okay, yeah, that does make sense. So it's like you're getting different. It's like the same species, kind of, but different. I don't know how to say it, but yeah, they're different. It's like regional.
Well,
They're
different regional variations.
Makes
just
sense.
because of the interbreeding and maybe the climate. Darwinism at its best.
Yeah.
And that's what makes the California Bigfoot different than the Florida one.
Right. Plus the different climates. One has to have different fur, and I've always heard that there's like ones that have fur and some have hair. There's like different types depending on where they're at on the planet.
Exactly. I mean, before 1958, all these creatures, these what we call now Bigfoot, before 1958, they were all wild men. And they were all kind of described more like Neanderthal type creatures. It wasn't until 1958 where the Humboldt Times published a letter about loggers in Northern California finding a huge footprint. And when they published that article, so many other people started coming out saying that they had seen the type of creature that created it. And it was in 1958 that the creatures stopped being hairy wild men, but became titled Bigfoot. So it was in 1958, thanks to California, that the term Bigfoot was even created.
Oh, interesting. That's cool. That's the first time I've heard that story.
Yep, Willow
The
Creek.
origins.
Gary, do you know which state gets the most reports of Bigfoot?
That's Washington right now.
Oh, okay.
It goes the top three, and California's going to get upset. The top three is Washington, Oregon, Florida, then California.
Why do you think that
Yeah.
is?
I do not know. The climates of Washington and Oregon is kind of understandable because of the trees, the forests, and that kind of population, so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And Florida, maybe because of its wetlands, the Everglades, and so forth, seems to be more prevalent for the creatures to exist. California started off strong, but modern sightings, they've kind of dwindled. Maybe because there's more urbanization going on in California than in Oregon and Washington. Maybe
Yeah, I
it's
wonder if
keeping them out of their habitat.
right. Yeah, I was just gonna say, I wonder if the concentration of people is higher in Florida, so maybe just the sheer number of people per square mile that are out there just wandering around and might come across something like that maybe is higher than the chances are higher in Florida.
Exactly.
That is interesting. That
I
you'd
sure hope
think
it
that
doesn't
those
have
would be
anything to do
flipped.
with all of our forest fires we have.
Again,
Yep.
I mean, if you want to think of Bigfoot as a creature or an animal, yeah, you're going to have to realize that forest fires, human encroachments is going to have an effect on them, just like it would bears or mountain lions or other creatures.
Absolutely. And how about this big debate about a Bigfoot being an interdimensional being or an alien being or a terrestrial being? What's your opinion on that?
I've been reading a lot more about it as it's growing in popularity. The biggest arguments that supports it is the reasoning for not finding a body or not being able to capture a living specimen. Plus, there's been videos and trail cams where invisible entities are taking the bait, and it has to be something that meets the dimensions the size of a Bigfoot. But how is it able to avoid detection unless it has, this dimensional effects? Here's a story for you. Did you know that the Yeti is actually a part of the Hindu religion, and that when the world was being created, you
That I
had the
did know.
spiritual world and you had the real world, the world that we live in. Well, the Yetis were designed as a creature to exist in between. And so they were supposed to guide people towards enlightenment so that they could pass on from the mortal world into the spiritual world. And so the Yetis are actual spiritual guides. And this is from the start of their religion. And that kind of supports the arguments that these creatures are interdimensional and that they've always been considered interdimensional or at least spiritual. In fact, it was humans that chased Yetis out of the mortal world.
Whoa. All of that I didn't know. I didn't realize that they were brought before us. So
Yep.
you're saying they were brought before us to kind of like be here as mentors, and then we were brought after that?
According to the Hindu religion, yes.
Whoa. Interesting. So yeah, they would be interdimensional right from the start.
Yeah, they're supposed to be spiritual creatures who come to our realm to guide us into enlightenment. And that's for Yetis, and I would treat, Bigfoot and Sasquatch as in the same category.
Yeah.
And so the argument could be that if the religious texts are correct, then maybe the appearances of the Bigfoot and Sasquatch and skunk ape and all of those are meant to either act as warnings for our environment, for what we are doing as people to one another. Because if you look at the way people describe these creatures or these beings, they live a more simple life. They take care of each other. They're more family oriented. They don't worry about materialism. And so maybe they're supposed to be acting as guides of how we're supposed to be treating each other. So that's the argument for that.
Yeah. It's a good argument. Spooky, how did you know about that? Have you heard about that from, like, where'd you learn about that?
I was just trying to do a little bit of quick research about where they have up in those mountains is it in the Andes? They have people go on treks and they go up those mountains to go to that where they say that one of their that there's a dimensional portal there, and I can't remember the name of it right now. It's driving me crazy. I think it's by Machu Picchu.
Oh,
Somewhere,
Machu Picchu is considered a portal area, but
Yeah.
I mean, we have Skinwalker Ranch that is also considered a thin area between the dimensions.
Oh, now you're talking my language. What do you know about Skinwalker Ranch, man?
There is so much to talk about for Skinwalker Ranch. You can pick your subject. I mean, you can pick anything from interdimensional, anything from UFOs to skinwalkers, that shapeshifters, to werewolves, to Bigfoot. I mean, Skinwalker Ranch is an area that has everything.
or a mesa.
And why do you think that is? What do you think's going on there?
Well, there's if you look at every source of energy or natural phenomenon, there's always a focal point. I mean, you have the North Pole that is and the South Pole, which are the magnetic centers, right? Everything magnetic can be focalized there at the poles. Well, can't the same be true for supernatural or paranormal energies? In the olden times, they would say that there was energy lines called ley lines.
That's right.
You know, those were supposed to be the magical lines that people drew powers from. Well, basically, ley lines are just natural energy lines. They're like power lines that people, you know, instead of having cables across the sky, Mother Earth already had lines drawn out of energy. Well, what if Skinwalker Ranch and some of these other locations pull in paranormal energy? I mean, you have when ghost hunters go into a haunted house, they have, you know, their ECM readers and all their other detection equipment to detect ghosts and paranormal energy. Well, everything has a focal point. So everything has a place where it's the strongest, where it's the most powerful. I think Skinwalker Ranch just might be the focal point for Earth of that kind of energy. It's the North Pole of that energy.
Huh.
I love it.
Yeah, that's cool. Have you heard about the Carl the Crusher channel on YouTube?
No, I have not.
Okay. This dude's going out and he's like boots on the ground research. Spooky probably could tell you more about him, but he's been doing this research on the mesa out there.
The work he's doing is so amazing that he just was asked by Brandon Fugel to collaborate. They both are working with very similar phenomena, and it's all happening right around the same area. This Magic Mesa is on a private land, a family owned, and Carl has been given special access to it to do research. And when Brandon Fugel saw some of the work that he was doing, he asked him if he would be willing to work with him.
Awesome.
Things like orbs in the sky, light shows being given on mountainsides that are obviously not natural or not man-made. Reports of beings and just all different sorts of paranormal phenomena as well.
That's great. No, I'm not familiar with that, but I wrote it down, so I will definitely check it out after this. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tons
No
of
problem.
content on there.
Wow. And
Yeah.
that's what's neat is that there are so many people out in our community now that are providing this kind of research, and with social media the way it is today, people have access to it.
Yeah, the thing that trips me out is that the examples of phenomena that we see, it just trips me out that private citizens have to go about doing this research. You would think that it would be like research being done on a mass scale by our government, and that it would be the thing you see on TV when you turn on the television. It's
Yeah.
just crazy that Carl goes out and finds these petroglyphs that are just sitting there on these mountainsides, and it looks like something millions of years old.
Yep.
Well, there's always the argument that the government has been doing the research on it. It's just never been released to the public.
Mm-hmm. Like Bob Bigelow over there at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting how he just slid in, did his research, and then was out of there. And then
Well, it
nothing
wasn't just
really.
him. He was working with government money too.
Right, right. Yeah, he was
That
all
was that.
government funded,
That
right?
was that Harry.
Reed?
Harry Reid money.
Oh, boy. Yeah, but Steve, we weren't. Nothing came out of that as far as public information, right?
Oh no.
As far as I know. Yeah, that
Only
was all
the
just-
Yeah, I
only
have
the
not
fact
seen
that
anything.
only thing that came out that I remember from Bob Bigelow was him going on 60 Minutes and telling the interviewer that aliens are right here on Earth, living all around us. That's what he did.
Who said that?
Yeah, Bob Bigelow,
Oh,
Robert Bigelow from Bigelow Aerospace.
oh, Big Willie bought us a coffee, huh?
He bought us 3 coffees. Thank
Oh,
you, Willie.
Thank you, Big Willie, for the 3 coffees, man. Appreciate you.
You're awesome, dude. Now get in here. You got a link. I
Hey,
dropped you a link.
Gary, there's another place in California that I'm very, very interested in, and I wonder what you know about Mount Shasta.
Ooh,
I'm
yeah.
Shasta. It doesn't ring a bell.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's another place where people go on treks and they'll go for camping and they'll spend a weekend or weeks, and there's supposed to be some very unusual phenomena happen there.
Okay.
Mount Kylo.
I will
isn't that
have
what
to
it's
check
called?
that out.
That just came to me. I think it's called that
Mount
one I was
Kylo?
thinking about over in
Mount Shasta is
Mount-
like it's so majestic looking. When you do some Google searches, it almost looks fake out of a book. Here, I'll.
Well, some of the best locations do look like they're more than
That's
real.
what I'm thinking about. Okay, Mount Kailash. Trekking all the way up to the peak of Mount Kailash is held to be a forbidden act among Hindus for the fear of trespassing the sanctity of the mountain and disturbing the divine energies residing up there. As per a Tibetan lore, a monk named Milarepa once ventured far enough to reach the top of Mount Meru. So I think it's once a year or something like that. The Hindus will make treks up there, and it's extremely dangerous to try to get up there. The terrain is very, very dangerous. People have died on the way up there, but they believe that that there's a god living inside of the mountain.
Jeez, that doesn't even look like a mountain you could.
Yeah, I'm
scale.
looking on some of my background notes, and actually, there's supposed to be a whole opening to the underworld through there. Like
That's
there's a city beneath the mountain.
That's right.
Interesting.
I saw all
So
this
yeah,
on
you basically
Ancient
climb the
Aliens.
mountain, and if you're accepted, you can enter into the underworld through some portal at the top of the mountain.
Oh, we'll just have Brandon Fugel fly us up there on a chopper, drop us in, give her a little knock.
I don't
on
know
the
if
door.
that's cheating or not.
Yeah, that
I
might
think
be
it's supposed to be a spiritual journey where you have to earn it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. I'll have to do some chores for Brandon then.
I'm not making that climb.
That is interesting, though, how some of these mountains have claims of massive amounts of energy coming from them. Like Spooky said, Mount Shasta. Everybody that I've talked to about Mount Shasta, they say that that's just like a very powerful area where there's like a lot of energies coming from.
Oh, there's
there.
people report going in and out of that. You can go in a portal, dimensional portal.
Yep.
Huh.
Yeah, that's why you climb to the top. If you're spiritually worthy, then you can enter the portal. There's a rock in Africa called Zuma Rock, and it actually has a face on it that they say is the guardian to the underworld there, and that when a person dies, you can hear the mountain rumble as it opens up to allow the person to pass into the underworld.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's
Damn.
I keep looking for other pictures. There's some that really show that what it looks like as a face, but it's supposedly that's a god that basically allows access into the underworld. Yeah, like
Definitely
that one.
looks like a face there. I'm gonna see if anybody's like traced it or anything, but Just looking at it like that, it definitely looks like a face. Or right here.
Yeah, and that's that's a good one there. So yeah, people will hear a rumbling like thunder in a blue sky, and they know someone has died and has passed through the Zuma rock. Now, if you look at it scientifically, rocks are areas where tectonic plates have come together
Mm-hmm.
and basically push land up. So you have that friction going on right at those locations as well. Well, wouldn't that friction vibrations be the energy that you would be feeling or experiencing? So yeah, it would be pretty common for peaks like that to have energy coming from it, just from tectonic, force of eruption.
That's interesting I like how you incorporate science into it too. Because it's like,
Well, that's what we try and do because
yeah.
what is the saying? Science is just magic is just undiscovered science.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. We talk about that all the time, how you could take a computer or something from today and drop it off in the medieval times.
I mean, you don't even have to do that. What were we told as kids? You better learn your multiplication tables because you're not going to have a calculator with you everywhere you go. What? I would love to go back to my fourth grade teacher and show her my phone and say, you don't know what the hell you were talking about.
Yep.
Good.
You have no idea.
Yeah. So, I mean, who knows what it's going to be like, in the next 50 years. Science changes everything, and it's changing it in ways that it's like blows our mind. I mean, look at us.
Mm-hmm.
I am talking to you from Florida live, and not just talking to you. You can see me in real time. That is
with almost zero delay. Yep.
Right.
I think about this stuff all the time. We do a podcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays in the morning, and this Irene, I can't think of her last name, but she tunes in. She tunes in every morning from Japan. And it's just like, you're watching us from Japan right now. Justin watches us from Australia. And Spooky is the host with Sunny. They're in California. I'm in Michigan. So it's just like all points of the earth are coming together for a morning show.
Yeah. So if we had talked about doing this back in the medieval times, we would all be burned at the stake.
That's right. Yeah, this is all magic. Super magic.
So who knows? Maybe the things that are happening paranormal wise will be explained by science someday. So that's why I always try to incorporate as much science into my podcast and into my stories, because I love the folklore and stuff, but if we're going to prove that it's real or not real, you're going to need science.
Yeah, because especially there's a lot of people that don't accept just these stories and legends and stuff. They need something more, which I know that that's not your responsibility to provide that, but to get everybody on board, yeah, it does help to have the science aspect of it too.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up Mount Shasta portal, and this picture pops up of something that it looks like kind of what I saw over. Oop, that doesn't work. Hold on 1 sec. That looks a lot like what I saw. Was it last weekend or the weekend before?
Oh, the circle?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gary, I was out at 2 a.m. just riding around on my scooter, and I looked up in the sky, and I just happened to catch the Starlink. It was like their last burn for the second stage.
Wow.
And it had just happened right above. Actually, it was kind of over in Illinois, but I could see it's so high up in the air. It's like 700 miles up that I could see it from Michigan. And then come to find out, Sonny saw it in California. And then you get on Twitter. Enzo sent me a link to a Twitter link, and people from all over the country saw this thing.
Nice.
That's kind of what it looked like, is this ring. After it separated, it shot like this ring of dust, like a dust cloud down. But it looked just like that. So it's interesting when this picture popped up. When I searched Mount Shasta portal, I'm like, well, that's interesting. I saw a portal last weekend, according to this picture.
Was something going through it?
Yeah. Yeah, not this one.
But they said it was SpaceX.
Oh yeah, I mean, even if you look up the SpaceX flight pattern or the flight plan or whatever, you can clearly see that explains why you and I both saw it pretty much at the same time.
Yeah, that's one nice thing about being in Florida is that you can always see the launches basically from where I live in Orlando. Cape Canaveral is only like 2 hours to the east, so
Oh, sweet.
yeah,
So
that's on my bucket list. That's the one thing I haven't done yet is I haven't gone to Cape Canaveral. I want to see an actual launch, from
You're-
the ground going
you're
up.
2 hours from it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd be there. I'd be there so fast.
I,
SpaceX launch. They're supposed to be launching the new what are they calling that thing? The I can't remember what they're calling their new rocket, but it's massive. And that one's supposed to be doing some test flights coming up soon. That one that would be the one to go see for sure.
all right, I'm gonna look it up and see if they have a scheduled time of when and where. I mean, well,
Yeah.
the when and which date.
Enzo is asking the Artemis.
Oh, the Artemis launch? Artemis I think is NASA's rocket. That's the one that they rolled out to the pad and they were going to do some tests with it and then I think they had to roll it back.
Hmm.
But the Artemis would be a cool rocket to see too. That's the one that has the two solid rocket boosters on the side, like the classic style orange solid rocket boosters. But
I would just be happy seeing anything, even if they were launching a radio satellite.
yeah,
I mean,
just a Falcon 9
Which, from
launch
what
would
I've
be cool to
heard, I
watch.
mean, if you're in the area, you can. I mean, you feel it. The rumbling is from miles around. So
Yeah. Well, the other
Gary,
day
we do drag races here, and there's a guy that brings a jet car out to the drag track,
wow.
and it don't look like a car. It just looks like a rocket with 4 wheels on the bottom of it, and then he's got this little pointy nose cone on the front, and he's right behind that turbine, or the turbine's right behind him. Sorry.
So basically, he straps a rocket to his ass.
Yeah, and when he takes off, it looks like a rocket launch, dude. He's got balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very fast, but if you feel it, like you said, I got too close and it sucked my hat off, and not when he took off either. He was just before he leaves, he spits out a bunch of smoke. He's doing it on purpose, but then I say he revs it up, but it's this loud when this big flame shoots out of the smoke. Well, I got too close, and when he was doing that, it sucked my hat off.
Oh no.
And
man.
I was probably 10 yards away. I wasn't really close. And yeah, I stay away from it now. It's
Yeah, I
scary.
would bet.
If you're behind it when he takes off, it will definitely knock you down. You're not standing in that thing's wake. In other words, yeah. But that's what I always pictured a rocket launch was like. I've never seen one either, except for that guy launch off that pad. I mean, on our drag strip, and it rumbles your chest. And that's just a rocket that's like on a jet.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
not a
big.
space rocket.
Yeah. Well, I think they probably have 4 of what he's using, or something a lot bigger.
Oh, the Falcon 9 is called the 9 because it has 9 Merlin engines on it. So yeah, just imagine 9 of those taking off.
That would you
Yeah, you would lose more in your hat.
Suck the air out of your chest. Yeah. That rumble when he's shooting that flame out, you feel it. Your whole body when that crack goes off. It's pretty neat. So yeah, you need to get over there and watch one of those rockets, like a real rocket.
Yeah,
launch.
I'm definitely gonna do that.
I'm sure you'll feel it from where they let you stand. You should.
Oh
be
yeah,
able to feel it.
yeah. They have viewing areas. In fact, Floridians, we use anything as an excuse to have a party. So they have areas where they'll have launch parties and people are just out there drinking on the beach, waiting to watch a rocket launch.
Sounds good to me. Yeah, Sonny, and then they had the Falcon Heavy, which was 3 Falcon 9s hooked up together.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. 27 Merlin engines.
That's one of those ones that can land itself, or no? It's got
Yeah,
those
all
fins. Yeah, the
Mhm.
fins on the bottom.
Yep, all 3 of those come back and land. The center rocket lands on a drone ship out in the ocean, and then the 2 side ones land on land.
Yep, that's pretty sick. I think I would be more interested on seeing it land.
This is an animation, but it looks
Yeah.
identical in real life. It's pretty crazy to see. Yep, they come back and land. Probably shouldn't play too much more of that before SpaceX comes after us.
Yep.
Gary, when I was a kid, I know the first time I was introduced to anything regarding Bigfoot or Sasquatch was, of course, the famous Patterson Gimlin film.
Yeah.
Right?
And I was just curious, do you have any other footage that's your favorite other than, one that's as famous as that?
No, there hasn't been anything that's even come close to catching the public's attention like that one has. I mean, there's been other videos, but I think because of, it was in October of 1967, so Bigfoot really wasn't a thing yet. Like I said, it didn't even get the name Bigfoot until 58. So Bigfoot didn't exist for 10 years. And then all of a sudden, these 2 guys come out with this video showing an actual creature walking through the woods. And today, that's still argued. People can call it a hoax, but they can't prove it's a hoax. People say it's an actual, a female Sasquatch, but they can't prove it because, they haven't been able to duplicate it. The nice thing is that with today's technology, there's a lot of copies of that video that have stabilization. Yeah, just like you're seeing there. See how he's got the stabilization on there? So it's a lot clearer and a lot better to look at it.
That's amazing. Every
Isn't
time I
it?
see
And
it.
there hasn't been anything that's been as close to that.
No,
and
yeah.
that definitely does not look like a costume to me.
Well, I
and
mean,
here's
back in
here's the most-
1967, who had costumes like that?
And who would care? Yeah.
here's the other thing. Gimli is like, oh my goodness, he is well in his 90s. And I mean, who the hell would care if he came out and said, yep, we faked it? Who would, what are they going to do to him? He's 90 years old.
Yeah.
He has nothing to lose, and he still says it's real.
That's interesting.
I mean, if I'm 90 years old and I'm tired of, all the arguments, I would just come out and say if it was fake, but
And
he doesn't.
Out of all the gorilla suits you've seen, even as jokes on TV, how many gorilla suits with tits have you seen? Who would have thought, hey, okay, we're going to get a gorilla suit. Let's put tits on it, boys. And go just out in the middle of nowhere. Because supposedly they were riding for days before they got to that spot.
This was on their 4th day.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're in the middle, and you tell them you're going to ride 4 days on horses to go shoot a stupid-ass video like that. I mean, for that long. I could see if it was some, they elaborate, we found its house, it lives here, and they had a whole bunch of videos, but just this for 4 days? Come on.
Oh, the fact that it turns its head and it looks, that is... I've got this video slowed way down, but it kind of makes it look weird. But
guys, give me 1 second, Chad. I got to shut this garage door.
Okay. Make sure you mute. When he shuts
But
the
yeah,
garage door,
I mean, the original was groundbreaking for what it is. But with today's stuff, like you're seeing here, this stabilization stuff. I mean, it is amazing with the stabilization how it looks. And nobody's has video like this, and that's 1967. We're in like 2021, and 2022, and we still haven't gotten anything similar to this yet.
Yeah, and back then you never would have dreamed that we'd be able to sit here and stabilize the video so much that you can actually see exactly what's going on. And you
still can't prove it's fake.
Right. Oh, just the fact that it looks back is so crazy looking. Right here. Boom. It's like, I'm looking at you. I know that you're there, but
But I don't care.
yeah. It's straight up looking straight at the camera right there. And then just turns and keeps on walking.
So
Man. Yeah, that's one of those where you could just sit and watch it for the whole day and just dive into
Yeah.
it. It's like the Titanic story. Just dig into it every so often and can't stop learning more about it. That's even one that,
yeah,
like
like I
mean,
said, Gimli can. I mean, nobody would be upset if he came out and said that it was fake.
That's the Gimli Bigfoot right there.
where did you get
Yeah.
that?
This is what my grandkids, when they go hunting Bigfoot in the mountains,
Uh-huh.
this
Oh,
is
yeah.
what they're hunting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I look, he's got boobs.
He does
It's-
have boobs.
Yeah. This is
Pretty
supposed to be the
authentic.
Gimli. It's modeled after that Bigfoot.
That's pretty authentic looking.
It's
So
got
that's
the-
Patty.
It's Patty.
Patty.
She's got the look, that stance.
Yeah,
Sir.
Enzo, that's what she's saying. Stop looking at my butt.
It's her boobs.
Well, that's one of the main arguments that people say it proves that it's a fake is that the Patty doesn't have a butt crack.
She does.
I'm like, how
That's a
close
butt
are
crack.
you looking at the damn thing's ass to determine if it has an ass crack?
Well, at the moment, we're looking pretty close.
She's got
Yeah.
that. She's
Thank you
got
for
a-
sharing.
She got an 1840s muff. It goes all the way up her ass. Hey,
You
that's
did
fine.
not just say that.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
what
Chop
it
Chop.
Those are pubes. That's not. It's my Bigfoot. I
man.
say what it is.
That's right. My Bigfoot, my channel.
That's it. You guys aren't
That's
playing
awesome.
with my stuff no more if you're not gonna play with it the right way.
He's gonna take his toys and go home.
That's right. Put my toys away.
I'm getting my Bigfoot toys and I'm getting the hell out of here.
As far not excluding footage, how about accounts, stories that you've heard from people and reports? Gary, what has been the ones that really stand out the most to you?
We recently did an episode on the assault on Ape Canyon. That took place on Mount St. Helens when a group of 4 miners who were excavating gold out of Mount St. Helens had built a cabin in the woods around the mountain. And one time while they were gaining water, they saw a creature and got panicked by it. And so one of the guys shot it. The creature ran off and came back with his buddies that night and basically was throwing huge boulders and running full force into the sides of the cabin. Basically, it was a night-long standoff between 4 gold miners with their rifles against an unknown number of Bigfoot creatures that was trying to basically get revenge for being shot at.
Wasn't one of
And-
them just a kid too?
Yeah,
Like,
one of the
yeah.
was just a kid, and so that story is so well detailed and so
Mhm.
well documented, and has had the support of all the people involved over the years. In fact, different I forget which TV show, but one of those paranormal TV shows even went out there and found the cabin or what was remaining of it. And so there's so much that supports the story. What got me most about that story is that these are 4 guys who are mining for gold. They were so scared, they left their gold, their mining equipment behind.
Ooh.
Who the hell does that? You left gold behind.
Shit, not me.
So it was
They were
it wasn't
out of
fake.
there.
Exactly. They just ran.
I've
So
been
yeah, they
shot at.
survived an entire night attack. As soon as morning came, the creatures, were back into the woods. They left, and they left everything behind.
I've been shot at where I gold mine. I still go back there and gold mine. That's you're not leaving your gold there.
Well, these guys did. So
Yeah,
it
that's
must be
crazy.
something more terrifying than being shot at.
Yeah. No one's gonna go there and go through all that elaborate stuff to make up a
Yeah.
story like that.
That's right,
Man.
Champ Campbell.
That's
West
a scary
Coast.
story. How about this one from Enzo? There's also a story of Mount St. Helens of after the eruption, they found dead Sasquatch bodies that the park rangers took
Yeah.
control of.
What?
Yes, that is part of this. I mean, would be part of the same tribe as was involved in Ape Canyon. In fact, after Mount St. Helens erupted, started coming out stories of Bat Squatch,
Bat
which
Squatch.
Bat Squatch is a Sasquatch-like creature, but has wings. So it's more in line with a gargoyle. So the theory is that it was something that was living in the mountain, and when the mountain erupted, it woke this thing up, and it is now taking over the territory from the Sasquatch of the area of Mount St. Helens.
Jeez.
Just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, now it's got wings.
Well, the thing, one of the stories about the Bat Squatch is that a guy was driving. He was driving his pickup truck, and as he was driving, all of a sudden the engine stopped. As he got out of the vehicle, lifted up the hood to check and see why the vehicle, conked out on him, he heard a thud on the hood of his truck, and as he looked around the open hood for the engine, he saw the actual creature staring back at him, and it kind of looked like an ape with wings.
Jeez.
That's creepy. An ape with wings.
Pat,
That reminds me of Wizard of Oz.
Jamie, you haven't found any pictures of a Bat Squatch?
Yeah,
There have not been any pictures of it, but yeah, there's been drawings of it all over the place. It's been growing in popularity. I think there's even a beer company, one of those IPAs that actually has a Bat Squatch beer.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a rendition of it.
Look at that. That's
Imagine coming
cool.
across that thing, man.
No. No, because what are you going to do? You can't run from it. You can't fly away from it.
Well, if the stories are true, you can't even drive away from it because somehow it caused his engine to conk out.
I wonder if it has the same phenomena that, because everyone's always like, oh, that's a blurry picture. That's a blurry picture. But I'm thinking, and I've heard it before too, that it's like the energy is coming from the Sasquatch, or the energy coming from any of the cryptids is what's screwing up the camera lens. Or
It's not even
camera
energy.
itself.
One of the prevalent theories is it's what's called infrasound.
Infrasound.
If you're not familiar, elephants can actually send signals up to 10 miles away because they make out calls that are so low that we can't hear them. You know how you have high pitches that are too high, you can't hear them? Well, there are also sounds that are too low that you can't hear them, and they're called infrasound. And it's believed that these infrasounds can have effect on mechanical equipment. There was even government studies to try and use infrasound as a weapon to try and knock out communications on the enemies. They would just, broadcast these sound waves out, and it would knock out all the communication equipments of the enemy on the battlefield. So there is studies that show that infrasound messes up equipment. So the theory is that that's how Bigfoot and Sasquatches communicate with each other, is through infrasound. And this can have effect on the human body. It can have effect on equipment. And that could be why we get blurry pictures.
Interesting.
Because it's just vibrating the cameras.
I don't even like to tell this story because I still can't find the video, but I got to. I seen it on like Discovery Channel. There's a video of this man, his I think 2 daughters, little kids too. They're like 6 and 4, like that little, and his wife, and they are walking. There's a Bigfoot following them, and he is videotaping it. You could clearly see what the hell it is in this video, and
Private
it's
chat.
behind the trees. He zooms in on its face and everything, and zooms back out. And you can see his kids. He's telling his kids he doesn't like want to turn his back on it. He's trying to walk away, but it's following him. And then it takes off. He doesn't only have it like behind these trees. He gets it walking like through these trees. Then it walks around this mountain and disappears. But then it comes out of the mountain and it's walking down in a valley and it just walks away. He videotapes all that. I've seen it on Discovery. I've searched it everywhere on the internet so I could watch it again. and then I cannot find it. I can't find that show. I can't find any of it. And I was looking for it like that day. Like I went to look for,
Huh.
and then I thought, well, I'll go back and record that show when it comes on again. Never came on again, and I couldn't go back and record it.
Yeah.
And
That
yeah,
just goes that kind of supports the theory that I was telling you about, is that these Bigfoots and Sasquatches are guardians of the forest.
Here's that beer company that you were talking about, Rogue.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They also have a Colossal Clawed version. Colossal Clawed is basically a sea monster in, I think it's Washington or Oregon. And it's just a giant sea serpent that's a popular story in the northwest states. So yeah, even commercial companies, beers are cashing in on the cryptid craze.
It's very impressive that you remember all these different cryptids. I mean, I know that it's like your thing,
it was either remember the cryptids or remember my anniversary. So
No, there's an honest dude, man. That's a straight up dude right there. Hey, Gary, so how about right now there's these people that are talking about, they see what some people call UFOs, but then other people call them orbs. I guess it depends on how it's appearing to you. But people are saying that they see orbs around the same time they have a Bigfoot sighting.
Right, and like orbs. Here's one theory that I've been. If you look it up, and it's great YouTube video, look up ball lightning. There is a real natural phenomenon in which static electricity, doesn't come down in bolts. It actually forms a ball of plasma energy, and it is a real phenomenon that has been really videotaped and so forth. It actually shows that energy can coalesce into an orb shape. So if, electricity is just a frequency of energy. So if you change the frequency, why wouldn't you change? Yeah, that is an amazing video. And that is lightning in a ball form. So and then electricity is, one frequency. What if I change the frequency of lightning? Wouldn't that be an orb? And what if that frequency is the same frequency that UFOs utilize or ghosts utilize? And what if that's energy that Bigfoot and Sasquatch creatures utilize?
I don't like that little.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it can have very detrimental effects. There's a story in Brazil. Poor Philo Prestes. He's known as the melting man of Brazil. And he was in his village. This was before electricity. The village didn't even have electricity and stuff. He came home from a fishing trip, and he saw a light outside of his window. And he got struck by this light. And basically, he started melting. I mean, the skin started sloughing off of his skin. He basically was his body was melting. And he eventually died in a hospital. And my theory is that, yeah, he got struck by one of these ball lightning, because that's what he said he saw. I'm going to pronounce it wrong because I don't speak Portuguese, but it's called a batista. And they call them spirits. They call them, fire spirits. And basically it's ball lightning. And he basically got electrified by a ball lightning thing, and it killed him.
Whoa.
But as you're saying, what if this ball lightning has other frequencies, and it's frequencies that are, prevalent around Bigfoot creatures? I think ball lightning proves that orbs do exist.
The thing is the ones that I'm seeing, like, here, I'll pull this one up too. This is a lot different than the last one we watched, because this is a lot farther away and it's in the distance with nothing behind it. But, and this one too.
Yeah. Why can't that be an orb?
Swamp gas.
Swamp gas.
Well, it could be.
Maybe that one could be lightning the way that's moving. That's weird.
Oh yeah, that's definitely like some type of lightning.
Yep.
Yeah, see, that's lightning, or whatever they're calling it, ball lightning.
Sam, that's
Yeah.
that's why I was
I
giggling,
mean, and
Sam, because
this is new. I mean, I'm sure it's been around forever, but it's just now being. I mean, how often do you actually catch lightning strikes? Let alone, I mean, it's got to be kind of rare that it's in a ball shape.
Oh, and hit that tower.
All of these are super bright though, and the ones that we've seen are a lot dimmer.
Especially the
You're
one that goes
talking-
over the tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's super
I think
bright.
it would ground out on the tracks, but no, it's staying up in the air right above them.
Mm-hmm. This one's coming closer to him. I'd be
See,
freaking
yeah.
out.
I'd try to pop it.
Oh, jeez. So it's probably just searching for like,
Throw some batteries at it.
Some kind of
Ground.
conductivity.
yeah, that
Got
is
shot.
so weird.
But like I
But-
said, lightning is, I don't know, we'll just say 100 megahertz. Well, what if we changed it to 50 megahertz? Well, wouldn't that change it into maybe an orb that people see that around Bigfoot sightings?
Yeah. And they are like the right color, red and
Yeah.
like a cream colored look. Oh,
So
that's strange.
scientifically, there's your arguments that orbs exist.
True. Whoa. And then they do stuff like that. That's crazy. See, that's the thing though, is the people that that are reporting orbs in the sky or lights in the sky, or like Chris Bledsoe sees lights in the sky that are reactive to requests that he puts out there just mentally. He doesn't even say them verbally, but there's things that Chris will say in his mind, like, hey, can you go to the right? Can you go to the left? And these lights in the sky, according to him, will react to what he wants them to do.
Well, like we said
Strange.
earlier, that would be counted as witchcraft today, but who knows in 50 years?
Exactly, yep. Yeah, that was the thing I was asking some of the guests on our show, the morning show, is what's a piece of technology that you would take now and take back to someone that's never seen it before? So yeah, I mean, it's definitely always in the back of our minds that a lot of the stuff that we're dealing with now, there's perfectly good explanation for. I mean, there's probably a perfectly good explanation for it. We just haven't reached that point in our technological advances or whatever. We're still very childish. I mean,
Oh, very.
you could just open up a Facebook or a Twitter window and see how childish we are still as humans, but we're just not there yet. And there's so many times when we think that we're at the pinnacle of, the top of the line, and we're the top of the food chain, and nobody knows more than we do. But if you fast forward 100 years or 200 years from now and look back, we're going to look pretty antiquated.
I agree. And no, Donnie Cho, I am not just making up random science facts.
Is Gary just making up random science facts? Yeah, that's what we do here. We just make stuff up and throw it out there. No, not at all.
But here's one thing that Lauren Coleman, we did. Are you familiar with who Lauren Coleman is? I hate making assumptions. Lauren Coleman is kind of the godfather of modern cryptozoology. He is pretty much owns a museum on cryptozoology in Maine. He has been in so many documentaries and investigations. In fact, he has named so many of the different cryptids, from like the Dover Demon, Phantom Clowns, and so forth. He had a great quote that we should approach all of these unknowns with a scientific mind. Faith is for a religion. Science is for open minds. So I think that's what we need to do is, don't treat everything as it's magical. Just think of it as, something for us to learn.
That's right. Yep. Got to be open-minded in this community. Because like I just got done saying, the stuff that we have no idea about today, 100 years from now, it's probably just going to be stuff that is just common knowledge.
Oh, you don't even need to wait that long. I have 2 teenage daughters who already think I'm a complete idiot with the stuff that I don't know that they do.
That's messed up. Oh, ground them while you can.
Yeah.
Enzo says 1.21 gigawatts.
Back to the Future.
Well, we're not going to see Donnie again. So,
You know, the thing about the criticism is that I don't think I ever remember hearing our guest say that he was an expert on these issues that we're talking about.
Oh,
I think that what
please.
we've
No.
been doing is throwing around a whole bunch of theories and hypotheses that we all consider. And the people that try to tell us that they are experts are the ones that really scare the hell out of me.
Hey guys, I wasn't upset about Donnie's comment. I kind of thought it was humorous because it does. I mean, when you do hear me talk, I do sound like I'm just rattling off thousands of random facts.
well,
I really wasn't upset.
anyone that's been in this community for longer than a week will know that anytime you listen to these channels, the main things that we say is that we're not experts. And nobody in this field is an expert. Nobody knows anything about anything. So it's all just a place to hang out and share ideas. And with I'd like to bring up another co-host, Big Willie.
Now, here's an expert
That is a lie.
on beards.
First four. Okay.
Gary, this is Big Willie. Big
Nice to
Willie.
meet you, Big Willie.
How's it going, Gary? Great show tonight, by the way. Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, Gary, I told you I'd let you get out of here in an hour, man. It's an hour and 17 minutes. So if you're
if you're tired, man,
you're welcome to stay. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I'm
want
gonna have to crash here soon. So,
I know it's
No
getting
problem.
late.
but I really wanted to say thank you for having me on. Hopefully, you guys will and your audience will give Within the Mist podcast a listen. Where I will,
Absolutely.
this week's episode is about the Jersey Devil. Last week was Spring Heeled Jack. So, pretty much whatever you're interested in, we try and cover it.
cool, man.
And just to let you know, you'll see the Mothman is kind of our mascot. So for our 50th episode, we're going to focus on the Mothman.
Oh, sweet.
The
So,
deep
yeah, he's my
dive,
favorite.
right? At that point,
Yeah,
the
we'll all
Mothman.
That's a good one.
And we have his links, Chad.
Yeah, I was just actually double checking that to make sure. Both his YouTube and the Spotify
Yeah,
links
Sam's been
are in the
dropping them.
description. Yeah, and thank you, Sam Arden, for dropping the links in the chat. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Gary, thank you so much for hanging out
Yeah,
with us, man. You should go get some sleep.
Hey,
This was so much fun,
Awesome
man.
guest,
Thank you.
dude. Awesome guest, and yeah, dude, it was very entertaining too. You got some good stories and good facts.
well, good. I'm glad I was able to entertain you. That's the biggest focus.
It was. Thank you,
Right on,
man.
brother.
Awesome.
And I got to keep my clothes on. So there
That's
you go.
right. Keep your clothes on, you don't have to get naked.
Depending
All right,
on who's
you guys
looking at
have
the
a great
situation. That's
night.
other.
Thank you, man. You have a
Okay.
good night.
You too, Gary.
Take care.
Thank you so much.
All right, good night.
Later, buddy.
We need
was
to
great.
we need to maybe reschedule him and get him again on the Chad Smith podcast, so it's not so late for him, man.
I want to talk more about
Yeah.
stuff like Skinwalker with him.
He's got a lot. He's got a lot of stuff that I seen on his Facebook. We didn't even get into.
I wanted to ask him about Blind Frog Ranch and see if he's.
Mm-hmm.
See, I
Heard
was
of
going to
that.
bring up the Loveland Frogmen to him because he's right there in Ohio.
Oh yeah.
No, he's from Ohio.
From
originally.
Ohio,
Apologize. Yes.
What happened, Chad? Did you time out Danny, or what was his name? Donnie Cho?
Donnie, I don't know. I hit some button that made him
Oh.
stop talking.
Yeah.
You can't come in here and say.
We protect our guests pretty good, man.
Yeah,
We
I'm
don't.
kind of sensitive with our guests, man. So
Yeah. The guests are gold.
I can't have people coming in here and saying the guest doesn't know what the f he's talking about. It's like,
Oh,
dude, the guest
geez.
reads the chat. You have to be respectful.
Yeah, something about it's full of shit. I mean, that's just not cool, man.
Keep those comments to yourself. Don't let your fingertips type that crap in the chat.
What
It's
is
just gonna get
Blind
you muted.
Frog Ranch?
Have some class like Big Willie.
That's right.
That's where Lynn got married.
Christ. Yeah, it's like what is it, like 20 miles north of It might not even be that far away. I might be talking out of my ass. It's pretty close to Skinwalker. It's like right next door.
It's within like 100 to 4,000 miles, probably.
Between
Yeah.
10 and 7,000 miles.
It's located on the same continent, we believe, possibly.
10 and 10,000. Somewhere between those two.
Oh man.
But no
Hey,
worries.
shout
No matter
out to-
where you're at, you should be able to see it, right, Big Willie? Because the Earth's flat. You just need.
Notice
to
how
That's
Big Willie
right.
comes in and the numbers
Jeez.
go up.
That's falsehoods. I don't know what that's
Baloney, I've been watching it.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Everybody started saying,
what's
Stirring
happening
it
in the
out.
beard tonight? Oh, tonight we have we got little miniature axes. I really, honestly, guys, I think and credit to Filth. Obviously those that know Filth and his artwork that he does, he's always joked about me keeping little miniature like battle axes in my beard, and I've legit thought about like looking somebody up that would make like necklaces as like a thing, you know what I mean, like little Big Willie axes, but like little Big Willie hatchets. I don't know, something like that maybe.
There's a store here in town that does beads and all that stuff. Maybe you could
Oh heck yeah!
collaborate with them and see if they could do a themed.
I'll just go in there and that's how I'll open it. I was like, hey, some know me as Big Willie and I want to do a collab with you. Do you got
Walk in there
beads?
just like that with the stuff in your beard.
with
They'd be
bring
like,
my axe with me.
This is our guy right here.
Where's
Yeah.
where's Christina at?
She's in bed. She's sleeping.
She has been being funny.
Oh, bro, she
Was on the
is
morning
funny.
show being funny. I was gonna tell you
She
to get her
sent me-
on here. I'll forget
I was
you.
I was at work and she sent me some screenshots. I was laughing.
Man,
I was like, poor
She-
Spooky.
you actually she got me when you sent the screenshots to our messenger. I started laughing. I had to mute. I was like, yeah, she got me. Nobody
She is
gets me.
pretty funny. Yeah, his artwork is good.
I won't be coming on the show with the tank top, man.
I am.
That's not going to happen.
I don't even think Sonny's seen it. I couldn't help but laugh earlier. I was telling Christine because we were watching in bed, we were laying there, and I was like, "Babe, look at Sonny over here rocking this choker." And all it was is your necklace was pulled to the back, but it made it look like you had a choker like that.
Like that, Willie? It's a big, thick leather one in the back.
Oh.
It says Big Willie across the back of it. It's got a leash hook on there.
Oh my god. A leash hook. Yeah, that's where I go sometimes. But yeah, man, so far as everybody hanging out in the chat tonight, Oracle, shout out to you, by the way, Cassie,
Yeah,
for
thanks.
getting such fantastic guests, by the way.
Yeah,
Right?
Casey.
This was one of her lands, right?
I do believe so.
Yeah, it wasn't mine.
Mm.
Yeah, and then I forgot to send him the link, and she was right on it. She's like, does Gary have the link, or what's going on? I'm like, oh my god, so sorry.
I gave
She's
it to
like-
him.
I gave it to Cassie when I was at work. So, he got it for both people.
Hey, did you see those, dude, that report, though, about Tecumseh?
Nope.
First of all, let's not even talk about how Tecumseh is spelled, but that late
Tecumseh?
night...
The pond?
No, the late night biker group, bro.
Okay,
They've
well,
been like foraging through.
excuse me?
Yeah, there's been some like heavy scooter activity. I don't.
Are you talking about me and my sighting? Is that what you're talking about? I'm like,
I'm
what
out
the
on
hell
my
is this guy
scooter
talking
at
about?
2 a.m. I'm like, who does that?
They see
Listen.
me rolling on my scooter.
Shut up.
Hey,
Riding
at least mine
dirty.
has
That was
four
just
wheels.
coming back from the skate park. You don't know. He was busting front side nose grinds out there at nighttime. He likes
He's
Listen.
been watching too much of what's that new show on Disney, the Moon Knight, or whatever it's called. he's out
You
there on
have-
a scooter.
You have to be out late at night like that to see stuff like this, okay?
That is the definition of sus.
Alright. I don't know
that's
how
right.
you're going to see this from your bed.
butthole.
Listen, that is an amazing photo you got. I admit.
Yeah.
I just picture you out there like Batman in the corners in the alleyways in your scooter, like, my name is Chad Smith.
That's it. I'm going live from my scooter. on the Chad Smith Podcast Facebook group.
I captured pictures at night.
Gotta catch Chad riding dirty. Oh, for God's sakes.
Come on, that's the perfect sticker. Literally, Chad riding dirty on a scooter.
rolling.
You need a bunch of lights and
Oh.
reflectors and a neighborhood watch T-shirt. It just
And a
rolls in
one of
there.
those safety things like the
Yep.
kids wear, 5th grade safety badges.
Oh man, just a reflective orange vest will work.
But the best part would be like you just got a gang going. Like you just start getting reports. Like the newspaper's so excited. They're like, "There's reports lately. These gangs out here. They're scooters."
Speaking of gangs, I feel like you guys are ganging up on me at the moment.
I'm just
me and my
I
scooter.
couldn't help.
It's a
The only reason I
badass
laughed-
scooter. It's not just a push scooter. This thing is badass. It's got like 30 horse on it.
They had.
I don't know if
This thing
that's-
goes 18 miles an hour. Some
if
bitch
that's a
goes
thing.
40 miles to a tank. I
You
mean,
don't even gotta
charge.
use your feet. You mean you're just electric scootering around?
Yeah,
Hey,
0
Chad,
calories.
Can
being
you
burned.
honestly say that to Papa Willie with a straight face?
What?
That you got a badass scooter?
Not now.
You just roll up to the guy who's sitting in a Harley. You're like, "What up? We're pretty much the same, bro."
When I pass a Harley, I do the wave.
You do the finger. You do the finger.
Just drop it at him, Chad. when they
How you
pass
doing,
the
brother?
road.
Tough streets out here, I tell ya.
I would pay to see you fully
Got
decked
like a
out like
Sons of
leather.
Anarchy vest.
Everything on.
I still got leather. It's
got a bell on it.
It's
got a bell. I'm gonna go get my damn scooter and show you. I got it right here.
You gonna pop wheelies in there? You're gonna hurt yourself. So
The only reason I was laughing so hard is because Christina was relaying the story to me, and I was dying. She was telling me
Christina's
about it.
funny.
I was like, oh. She mainly said though, she's like, "Son kept bringing it up." She's like, "Son, you're like, were you on your scooter?"
Guys, come on now.
Just teasing.
Some bitch is a badass little scooter.
God. Oh, Carol says hers goes 14 miles per hour. So Chad, yours is scooting apparently.
See? Mine goes 18. I'm telling you. It's badass.
Oh, God.
Some bitch has horsepower, let me tell you.
You know what I was just thinking about? I don't think we got a report from Papa Willie about how Vegas went.
Oh, the concert. Wow.
No.
I've never
The
been to a
the
concert
the
like
bill-
that.
the pool
Not yet.
tournament.
Not yet. August.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Mm.
I just
So
to
you
Vegas
went there for a
a
concert.
Yeah. Yeah. I went to go to Knotfest.
Oh, I'm not sure what that is.
That's what it is.
Yeah. Where Cypress Hill and Slipknot. And
What?
other bands play.
Insane in the membrane.
Insane. Got no
Chad,
budget.
does yours have a seat? Because Carol's
No.
does.
No, mine's a Segway 9-bot Max.
Carol said, "Eat your heart out. I've got a seat." Carol.
Does it have
Could
a
you
seat?
imagine
Mine
putting me
does.
on Chad's? Chad, it can go 18 with you. What if we put me on there? What kind of RPMs can we get up to?
Hey,
Oh, I don't know, man.
like 20 years ago, I did have a gas scooter, but it went like 40 miles an hour. It would hurt you. 45. something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
that's too fast, man. I fall
There's-
off going 18. Just
Well,
18,
okay,
I'll
talking about-
probably
I
die.
don't like that, but no, my big fast one that I got. Hey, you know how I bought it, Chad?
Hmm.
It was back when they first came out with the big motors on them,
Yeah.
and it was fast. It was like brand new, and brand new. They were like $1,000. I bought it from this guy for like $100. Brand spanking new. He rode it once, and when I went and picked it up, he was all casted up. His arm in a cast. He was all fucked up.
Oh, really?
He was like, just fucking take it.
Just get it out of here. I don't want to
Get
see
outta
it
here.
anymore.
Yeah,
I don't want to
it
talk
was
about
all-
it.
It was funny. That's yeah.
Hmm.
And yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Do we have to sleeve the neck on that thing, or
He bent something on it. I think it was a handlebar. Just bent it back or something.
fix something?
Yeah, he wrecked it going like 35, 40, somewhere around there, and it's way too fast.
You're talking about the one we take out to the track, right?
I don't remember the one you stand up on.
Yeah, did
Yeah.
we take it to the motorcycle track?
Yeah, it had
Oh,
big
down
tires on it. It had like bigger tires and a 2-stroke engine. It's like riding a little dirt bike. Yours have big tires like that, Chad? Or is it like a
They're
razor?
larger than like your normal. I mean, they're more badass than your normal scooter-sized tire.
Got a lift kit.
So it's not like the rollerblade wheels. It's not like a razor.
No, man, these are air-filled 8-inch or 10-inch tires.
The Razor
Okay.
scooter.
No, it's not a
You
razor.
got the built-in hydraulics.
You guys are something else. Let me tell you. It's got a horn, or not a horn. It's got a bell. Ding, ding, ding.
No.
Oh, you gotta go buy the big. You gotta go buy that big horn, the one that sounds like the train. You can hook it up to almost anything.
Oh, now that would be fun.
You just roll down the streets on that bad boy.
That's
gonna
a
get some-
scam.
I'm gonna get some cop lights for it.
Like,
Cards in the spokes.
Little flag on it.
Crush a can up in the tire.
I didn't know we were gonna do a 15-minute segment on my scooter.
You gotta get the people what they want, Chad.
It's the scooter segment.
Honestly, if you did just some TikToks, highlights of you just rolling around the city,
Oh, I'm
just
sure I
whip
get
it
some
up.
views.
and you just don't explain anything, you just whip out to people's shops and you just slap a Chad Smith sticker on there and you whip out, flip them off as you're going, you know?
Yeah.
I sent a handful of those with my kids and told them to put them around the neighborhood. They went to their mama's house this weekend.
Nice.
On Tuesday, Chad, you need to turn the camera towards the door, and then I'll start the show and introduce you, and you just come rolling in through the hallway.
Oh my god.
A little stoppy.
Oh my god.
It'll work.
We'll get you the built-in sound system that's
Here.
activated, so when you accelerate, it does a vroom, vroom, vroom.
I can hook that up. I can hook that up, really. I can do that.
Hold on, I'm pulling up a picture of my badass Segway.
A Segway.
Segway.
Oh, you said a scooter. What are you talking about now?
That's what it is. It's a Segway
Is
9
there
bot
turbo
max.
mode on that scooter?
I put a Yamaha sticker on the front of it
It is
to
a
make it
race.
look even more badass. That whole platform you're standing on, that's all 18650 batteries, baby.
You need a
That's
pink
battery
basket.
operated GoPed right there.
It is.
She goes 40 miles on a charge. That's how badass that thing is.
You guys remember? You know what this reminds me of, Chad? This, and everybody in the chat has to remember this. Do you guys remember the hover round?
The hover round?
Oh.
Hey, wait, can you do
Older
a tail
people-
whip on that thing?
The old people scooters?
The old people scooters, the hover round, and they did the worst commercials ever. They'd be like, before my hover round, I was decrepit and dying, but now I'm on Mount Everest. And they just have them out in the Grand Canyon. For you guys have to remember these commercials. You never remember
Yes,
this?
the Grand
They just be in the
Canyon
Grand
commercials.
Canyon like, oh, I made it. Look, they helicopter you in. When you, I don't care what your hover round can do. It's not going to take you to the Grand Canyon.
A while back, I managed to break both my ankles, and not at the same time either. And we
Bonus.
went to the fair.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
We went to the fair, and I took one of those hover rounds and spray painted it flat black, and put a big ass Harley seat on it and big old ape hangers, big like tall ape hangers, big light in the front, and then we wired it up to 24 volts, just straight to the motor, so it had little wheelie bars on it. We took off it, dude. So yeah, I actually have had to use one of those. It's the 3-wheel hover rounds. We turned it into a trike. I wasn't riding this little thing with a basket, dude. It had little tiny handlebars on it like this.
See? Everybody's a closeted scooter rider.
I will give you props though, Chad. You came up with that Patterson Gimlin film quick, man. I just barely
Yep.
mentioned it, and you had it up like that.
I'm getting better, man.
You were
Get-
on it.
I'm getting more like Jamie.
Came in hard.
That Patterson Gimlin footage that's highlighted now, like how it's stabilized in HD, it's crazy.
Sick.
And the craziest thing about that is, I used to not really believe. I mean, I always knew about the film, but I didn't know how I really felt about it because my grandpa used to always talk about it because he was definitely like a closeted person for like UFOs and stuff. But he acted like he just made fun of all of it, but he would talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So he loved the idea of Bigfoot, and even though he'd always end his story every time with, "We all know it's just a guy in a suit." But that original footage, people always talking about being edited. I don't know, man. If you go listen to all 14 and a half hours of Astonishing Legends, I'm telling you, you'll come away from that thing with more knowledge than you ever needed about how filmography, or what's it called? Filmography?
Pornography?
Videography?
Videography.
Pornography?
But it was crazy because that original footage has never been edited. And they can prove that because of the style of film back then to edit something or to, like nowadays we just, it's just Photoshop. But back then you had to actually cut. You had to cut the film and make things and overlay them. And that original footage, which we all know is missing, we know that they've never found that. But the actual footage that has been shown and replicated from that has never been edited. So no matter whatever he's seen there, I have to say, it's crazy if you actually go back and you watch it in your mind, you think while you're watching, just think to yourself, this is actual footage of a real Bigfoot, and then watch it. If you put yourself in that mindset and watch it, it hits different.
Dude, that's how I am with the footage of, I'm trying to think of his name as I'm talking, the alien that's...
Oh, Skinny Bob.
Skinny Bob. That's
Yeah.
what I...
man,
That's
that
what I
looks
do.
real. I wish we could play that, but we will get in trouble.
No, we could play it just without audio. I think it's
Okay,
the
then
audio
play the
that they
hell out of
get you
that.
for.
It is interesting. Because that was also older footage, too.
Network anyway.
One time released by that person, they just disappeared back into the depths, the bowels of the internet.
Ryan put up that entity from the orb on Twitter yesterday, and there was all these negative comments, people trying to tell him it was BS and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was really, really good footage.
You gotta admit,
Especially-
though, that's what you think right off the bat when you see it with your own eyes. This is BS. What is it? What am I seeing?
Hello, exactly.
Oh, it
Yeah.
just
It's like what are you gonna gauge it by? What are you referencing it by?
if it was just me and Chad that seen that thing in the sky, and even with Chad's pictures, no one would believe us. If I told him no, I seen the same thing, he definitely seen. No one would believe us if he just had those pictures and they didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. No one would believe that story that you seen something come out of space and make a spoke ring.
Especially, the part that they wouldn't believe is that you saw it in California at the same time I saw it in
Yep.
Michigan. They'd be like,
Yeah,
oh,
that
that's
was
not
kind of
possible.
freaky.
Actually,
And it was the same exact thing too. It wasn't like it looked any different. Like it didn't look any smaller or bigger. It looked like we were seeing the same exact size thing.
I
Mhm.
tracked the moon talking
Look,
to somebody on the phone
check this.
throughout the night.
Have you seen this?
Oh, throughout all the way from the whole night.
Mhm.
And
Like a
I was
time lapse?
yeah, well, kind of, yeah. Actually, she was at work and I was at the house, couldn't sleep. And we were talking back and forth, and I'd hit her up and be like, hey, where's the moon at in reference, like if it was a clock face to the sky right now? Like the horizon's being 3 and 9. She was like, about 11. I was like, that's where it's at for me too. That's a trip, because she was in Pennsylvania. I'm in California.
Yeah.
I would think there would be a big difference
There it is. It should
in
be.
where the moon's at.
That's why we still have the
You would
sun.
think
When it's a level playing field,
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, here goes his.
I'm teasing.
He's flat earthing us.
And that Skinny Bob footage, I was just like, I
Yeah,
was just thinking that, some people might be sensitive to that kind of thing because of, like, if you've actually had experiences and then you see that, it's kind of like a PTSD
Well, it's
thing.
real. That is real.
It's
How
got to
did
be,
you-
man.
It's
Look
been
at
around too
his
long.
neck right here. I mean, how do you
Did you-
fake this? Go Spooky.
Did you see the picture of the or the video of the alien grabbing the boy playing soccer in Mexico?
No.
Oh,
How old is this footage?
I don't remember off the top of my head if it was in the very early 2000s or late 90s when this footage hit. I want to say it was like 2002 to 4 range when this hit on a feed.
this
like
is old.
The original.
this was
recording of it is
old.
supposed to be when?
It's supposed to be footage from the 60s, like around the time the Majestic 12 stuff went down. It's supposed to be an interview with him, some have said with the Russians, if I'm not mistaken. We've supposedly got the footage from them.
Yeah, it says the video first appeared on the internet early May 2011.
Oh, 2011. Okay, way further along than I thought. My bad. Brasselhoff. Willie, you had me at level.
Flat. As soon as we said the word flat, Brass was like, "Excuse me."
I mean, I asked the dumbest high question ever the other day, and I wasn't even high. But I wanted to know. I asked my sister-in-law. Nice. I was like, yo. And I was staring at my cup of water. I was like, how do we know the water's on top of the other water? What dictates that?
Oh, for God's sakes! This is how it was in This is how
I
it
know
was in
you
North
can't
Carolina.
play the audio, but does that thing talk back to him?
No.
It's all in Russian and stuff. It's like they put captions at the bottom, if I recall correctly, I believe.
Didn't they say though that they were getting communication from him through like telepathy? It wasn't like a verbal speech.
Oh.
I just wanted to know what his voice sounded like.
Yeah, we
You're
muted
muted,
Chad.
Chad.
We didn't want to hear Chad. He's talking about a scooter again.
Oh, whoops! I didn't.
He was
know I
like, Skinny Bob came out. I was like, you guys will never believe 40 hours off of one charge. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God! 40 miles, one charge.
off one charge.
I just pulled up this other article. It says there's apparently a whole series of interviews conducted with the creature from the years between 1942 and 69.
69. I said that to somebody the other day, this morning actually, because the weather, like I was getting in the van, it said 69 at the temp, and I sent it to our work group, and they're like, well, how old are you? And I was like, honestly, halfway to 69. It's so stupid, but it's funny.
Oh, I pulled up. Okay, here's some other footage. This is.
Is it that naked guy running across the road? Because that footage is always funny when they're like, what is this? And they're driving in the winter. That really heavy set fat dude just shirtless running across the road.
What are you talking
Have you never
about?
seen that footage?
No.
It's so funny because the guy at this commentator is like, oh my lord, what is that? you know this footage.
I've seen it.
It's so stupid. It makes me laugh every time. Yeah, here we go.
Now, not only would they have had to fake one costume, but now they're faking 3 costumes. And they all look
And
the
that
same.
costume moves pretty.
After the incident, the treaty was revised. Chad Smith, butthole was safe.
Oh,
Only went on his scooter.
Oh my God. Under the treaty, the meetings would be confidential and filming or taking photographs would not be allowed.
Can you imagine?
Broke that rule. Here we are. Guys, don't video us. No problem, man. Nope, no problem.
Yeah, we're not.
What's this? This is a thermos mug that I drink from. Is there video and everything?
Can you imagine the trace? Fuck yeah.
They say that supposedly they offer people like $1 million to be able to replicate the film
Mm-hmm.
if they can come forward and do it, and no one's ever been able to do it
Nope.
to the quality of it. But
So how do you
who
explain
knows?
that, Big Willie? How do you explain that?
Well, we got to start with, first of all, we got to realize we're on a flat plane. And then
Oh,
you guys
for
can
God's
understand
sakes, this flat plane.
gravity. You'll understand the levitation of granite and how we can make stainless steel magnetized. You think you
That's
can't? Yes, you can. Don't you wait till tomorrow night. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about this.
You can magnetize stainless steel.
That I'm aware of, no.
Maybe with enough energy you can. Maybe with enough energy you can magnetize anything.
I think it has to do with everything's electrical magnetic field based on the amount of compounds that exist within it that make up its molecular existence. I mean, if we know that the electrical magnetic field raises and goes just by moving your hand up and down, move a piece of metal up and down, it changes just doing that. So that should tell us right there that there is something there. And I still, I remember from the time I was a little kid, I always in my head was like, why are we not making motors off of magnets?
Probably
Like the
Chad.
idea of just endless propulsion.
Well,
In a
motors
sense.
are made out of magnets.
See, everybody says that, but I don't get it. Because we use combustion, right?
Oh,
No.
you mean engines?
That's an engine. A motor is electric. An
You're
engine
right.
is gas powered
Apologize.
or water powered, steam powered.
Yeah, my dad was a 25-year auto mechanic, so I learned that real quick. As soon as I said
got it
engine,
wrong.
I'm like, engine's gas, electric
But still,
motor.
so right, the engine powers the motor then, right? Which is stupid. Because if you, it's like all backwards, right? We're gonna use this source to combust and then empower this motor to
like
try
on
and
a train?
make revolutions. Yeah, instead of using like steam at least. But if we did it different, if we just used something that had a constant pressing force to push against another force, especially magnets that, what's the term? There's a really fancy term for it where they push against each other.
Mm-hmm.
They like anti-gravity.
Propel it or
propel against it, whatever the term is.
I don't know what the word is.
They push each other.
Repel.
Repel.
each
Thank
other.
you.
No, you had
Such
it
a
right.
big
Rosie.
You see that in the private chat?
Oh.
Willie, they
Are
can
we
get an
allowed to
anchor to
show
float in
stuff
the
that
mercury. No gravity
Was
needed.
posted on Twitter?
Oh yeah. Twitter doesn't. I don't think Twitter has any kind of copyright thing.
Pinzer said, "Stop. Skinny Bob is from Antarctica." Oh, this is that video, right?
Oh, I don't know if I can play
Well,
audio.
you can mute it. Right? Or-
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Well,
mute it.
it's all Spanish, so it doesn't matter. Probably you don't need it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But as the boy goes to get his ball, right by the pole, you see it to the right.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see the creature reach out and grab the boy. I don't know how far in. I think it's coming up. Yeah, right here. Right there.
Adios mio.
Oh, it's so pixelated. It looks like
They're
it's filmed
gonna
in 85.
enhance it, I believe.
Oh.
And so I don't think Mexico is going to copyright strike you.
Oh, 2005.
So I guess they went and did a test on the pole where the alien was hiding or comes out of,
Mm-hmm.
and it was deemed radioactive.
Ah.
Well, snap.
Man, I can't even see. It's just so blurry. I can't see anything.
See there? You see that enhancement?
Enhance. Enhance.
Oh, right there on the right. Okay.
Yeah, the little hand reached out.
Something reached out. Yeah.
Man, I'd have snatched him up.
Oh, Eric in the chat. My man Eric. Out here with the best cowboy hat.
Paranormal Highways in the chat.
Heck yeah.
Oh,
son.
man, that goes all the way back to 2005.
I just got back from the movies, but I will watch this from the beginning. You better
You
be
better
watching it.
watch it from right now. Then go.
Eric,
You
back
better
to
be
it.
checking out my hoodie.
Yeah,
You got
that's a
keys.
dope one.
You got keys to this, Eric. You just jump in there to.
That's right.
Dang it, Eric's got keys, but I don't have keys. You son of a biscuit licker! I'll tell you.
No, you do.
He's a lot cooler than you. He's a lot cooler.
He's so much cooler than me.
Willie, we got rid of the Chop Shop StreamYard, and we're using the Morning Show StreamYard right now, so you do have keys to this.
Oh,
You should.
oh yeah, I can see everything going on in the back. My bad.
In Paranormal Highway, Eric, if you just log into your StreamYard account and go to your top left and hit the and
What's up,
instead
champ?
of having your show at the top, hit the drop down. I can't think of
He
words
knows
right
how
now.
to do it.
He told me he didn't, so
Oh.
just letting him know. If you choose the Chad Smith podcast, you should be able to just jump in here.
Eric's going to tell us about the movie Elvis that he saw tonight.
Yes.
Thank you, baby. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Eric.
All right, let's talk about it. Let's do it right now. Come on, Elvis. Why all the ideas that he was abducted and never actually died?
Was
Where
it
did that even
good?
spawn from? Where did
Wait, are you
that creation come from?
BRB.
I didn't know that was a thing.
What?
I want to know. I
100%.
want to know if it was good and how much dancing that Eric did from the theater to the car after the movie.
Oh, hold on. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much. But there is like a theory out there that he was abducted.
Oh yeah, he was one of the first like major movie stars that kind of surrounded. Well, he did movies too. He was one of the first stars that hypothesis kind of began with, that running theory. Because then you
With
moved
Elvis?
to like Tupac and Biggie. Yeah, like Tupac is the next biggest one, but Elvis was the first one I'm aware of that they talked about being abducted and not dying.
What president was he friends with? Is it Nixon?
He was that I don't know clearly.
But one of them, whoever it was, I know he gave him like
Ends out.
gold-plated gun and he asked
Karate
him. That
chop.
was one of the first questions he asked him. Was where's all the aliens at? I guess when he met him.
Yeah.
That was in a show I seen.
Where do all the aliens
Oh,
be?
yeah, he said Elvis has pics with Nixon.
That's it.
I'm not a crook. Wait, that's not Nixon. Oh, wait, no, that is Nixon, right?
I think so.
Wait. Yeah, that was Richard Nixon, right? Watergate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unless we're witnessing a Mandela effect.
All I know was Forrest Gump caught him. He thought their power was out.
Yeah.
Hey,
Forrest Gump.
oracles, you tell people, tap that like button, guys.
Oh my
Tap that. Because then every time I hear that song in my head.
Subscribe.
God. Smack that like button.
Actually, so you
Smack
think
it.
she said it? Because when she said it earlier, I was like, crap, I didn't yet. And then I went and crushed it. I crushed it so hard.
Wow.
Cassie. Yeah, Nix, I'm not a crook. Yeah, that was his favorite. There we go.
Oh, this is creepy music. I'm trying to
Oh,
find what we're
We're
listening
at 496. Cass says, guys, we're almost 500.
4 more, guys. Let's do it. Live right now. Live on location.
You
to.
guys share it out.
500.
All you guys share it out. Get 4 more subscribers.
Hang on, I'm dropping the links in SOR right now. I'm just
Hey, go ahead. I shared it out.
kidding.
Yeah, there's like.
Uh,
All right, maybe this
yeah,
will be a good playlist.
Brass off. You can have a green screen if you want. You just gotta have a good one. Since I started using StreamYard. Oh,
Uh-huh.
that's what I was thinking.
Willie.
Sounds like for when they show you all the vacation spots you can't afford to go to. They got that channel.
Yeah, the playlist
Yeah,
is called Beach Party.
Got all
Look
the
at these
cute
size of me
spots.
balls.
Look at these bulls.
Look
Big,
at these
big
balls.
bulls.
Big giant balls of some
my
kind. If he was
God.
David Childress was Russian or something, you know?
It's just a giant bulls. Have you ever heard of anybody that has the same accent as him?
No,
He has
Gary
a-
just shared this thing to me earlier. It was so freaking funny because he was like, "Someone teach this man how to talk."
Not the guy with the big hair?
No, that's
No, we're talking about David Childress.
super close.
Yes,
Oh.
close.
Yeah, I thought you guys were talking about the
Of some kind.
There was these big giant balls.
Giant stone balls.
Brassoff said Viagra commercial music for sure. Since I started Viagra, I feel like a man again. And I've got big giant balls. What if it's David Childress doing he could totally be the oh my god. I could see him if I didn't know he was David Childress and all the other amazing things he's done. I could just see him in a Viagra commercial, honestly. He's relatable, he's got the look, he has great hair, right? He's got glasses, he talks about balls of hair, I think, at one point. He has everything Viagra needs.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen,
Absolutely. What's
Eric
up
from
there?
Paranormal Highway. He just
I don't
brings
think I've
himself
ever
up.
been on here with Big Willie.
I
I
know.
feel privileged.
I was just thinking about that earlier because when you were on, yes,
Put you guys
wait,
together.
Wednesday morning.
I was
it
doing the
Wednesday-
same thing you were doing, Sonny.
Oh, quit doing it, man.
Great
Man.
minds think alike, man.
Think about this. I saw Elvis tonight, and I'm sitting with Big Willie. My God,
How can it get any better than
does
this?
it get? And Spookie's wearing an awesome sweater. I mean, my God.
Yes.
It just
My
keeps getting
favorite
better, man.
show.
Yeah.
Oh my God, brass off! That is the best. Some kind of erectile dysfunction. Oh my God, I love that so much.
Some coin.
I didn't think you guys. I thought you guys might be ending the show right now. So I'm like, I got back a little late. The movie's like 2 hours and 40 minutes long.
Dang.
Whoa.
I didn't realize it was that long.
Yeah.
The guest tonight was awesome, man.
He was good.
I told him we'd only keep him for an hour, and we had him for almost an hour and a half. I felt bad.
What is he? Is he an investigator, book writer?
Who's that? The
Your
guest?
guess.
Professional
Gary?
rope skipper.
Skip.
He does it in tournaments and stuff for money in Vegas.
Yeah, Eric, him and his
Double
wife
Dutch.
have a
Double
podcast.
Dutch.
I was like, it's called double dutch, right?
Gary Brand within the Mist podcast.
Eric's trying to have a normal conversation. And
I
we're
know. I'm sorry.
trolling him.
Hey, Eric, for real though, we were just talking about this before you hopped on, and you'd be the perfect guy to ask because I don't know much about it, but I could have swore that I'm correct in remembering this. Elvis was one of the first major stars besides Marilyn Monroe, but Elvis and Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe, those three together, to be hypothesized that they didn't actually die, that they went to go live with the aliens, but it's specifically Elvis.
Oh.
Where did that span from or start from?
Oh, there's a major Mandela effect with Elvis saying that he never really died. I mean, there's even a movie, with the guy from Evil Dead, Bill Campbell, called Bubba Toothfet. I can't say it right. Where the idea was he didn't die; they had a clone of him, and they put Elvis in a retirement home. And of course, and John F. Kennedy never died. They painted his skin black, and he's in the retirement home with Elvis. And then they have to go save the retirement home from evil spirits and all that. And it's been through a century that people said that Elvis never physically died because nobody really seen the body. The only thing you ever seen was him in a coffin. And they said that Elvis was so tired of being used. You know, he was taking drugs to go to sleep, drugs to wake up. You know, he wasn't like taking heroin or anything. He was taking medication to be on stage. And they said he just had enough. And they doubled him while he took off in a hidden world. Now, those are all conspiracy theories, but that's been going around. That's been around for the last 15 years that I know of Elvis, that he's technically not dead. Now that was true, he probably died now, maybe.
Right.
Actually, how old would he be now? He was born in 1937, I think.
So he'd be 90 something right at this point.
No, so right now
Or
he's probably
80.
dead, but
Yeah, he'd be like, wow, I would have thought he'd be older than that. Am I doing the math wrong on that?
and remember, some people say that Paul McCartney has died, and that's a fake Paul McCartney that's still alive now.
I've
So
heard
he'd
that.
be 84 now.
You know the one that I can see that there's a lot to it and it's
never
dark and nobody wants to talk about it, guys, but this is a real thing. Listen, this is some dark stuff, okay? But what's her name? Who was that she was the young punk rocker from the early 2000s that everybody was in love with from Canada?
Lavelle?
Yeah.
She sang Skater Girl.
Yeah,
She was in
Lavelle.
love
Avril Lavigne.
Avril Lavigne.
with, Avril Lavigne.
Levine.
100% think the chick now is not.
That's not her?
It's not her.
Really?
Yeah, if you go and look up the history that happened there, they think the rumors around that one, if I get this straight, was somebody had died in her family. It was her uncle who was. She was having a really hard time with it. They think she actually killed herself over it, and then they just like subbed in this person who looked really close to her.
I hate to sound like I'm a mean person, but why fake her? I mean, she's no Elvis, no Paul McCartnney, or no Monroe, you know? I mean...
Well, and that's true, but at that time, in the early 2000s, she was not as close, but she was kind of right in the Britney Spears,
song.
What's up, DJ?
That's really one song, so... I mean, if she would have died, I hate to say it, I don't know if she'd be missed.
Well, I don't know if it's always like just the people too. I think it's the money behind them. Because you think about it, she's still making money. So what if you could be a corporation who owns, let's say a label that owns a label, and you don't really need the person anymore. Now you don't even have to deal with their emotions and who and what they are. You just need their face and their music.
True.
And you
I guess you're right. I mean, technically, Kurt Cobain only had 3 albums. I mean, 2 major albums, and the first one by Independent. So I guess you could say he's bigger than life with a few albums. You know, but man, if you talk about music, what I'm so admire, I heard the new Ozzy Osbourne song. For his age, his sickness, and listen to his new song, I'm like, man, this new song is not that bad. It's pretty good.
I haven't heard
Pookie,
that.
have you heard his new song? It just came out
No.
like today.
No, I haven't heard it.
We probably shouldn't play it on YouTube.
No.
No.
Oh, no. Sharon Osbourne will bring you down.
We'll have to hear it on the after show.
Sharon will come find us.
Tell him, come face me like a man. He'd be like, "Oh." I'm just kidding. That's terrible.
Come face me like a bat.
Well, I mean, with the right production behind it, any Ozzy Osbourne song is going to be awesome because his voice is so distinctive
It's true.
and amazing.
It's true, but you can still write a shitty song, even recording the voice good.
No, they only
And-
work with really good people.
And you know, I've seen a lot of older bands, you know, make some albums, and honestly, yeah, they might make the voice sounds good, but the songs still sound like shit. So I was impressed that the song was decent.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, we're 4 away. Yeah, guys, share out. We need 4
Oh,
more
I thought she
subscribers.
said. I thought you said you guys hit 500. My bad. I was excited.
She said not there yet, just preparing.
Oh, she was prepping how to type in 500 and then hit it. Probably she was like practicing. 500. 500.
So Eric, I know the movie was longer than you thought, but overall, how was the movie?
I really enjoyed it. I mean,
Okay.
it's almost like a musical, but it's not. There's a lot of singing on stage. Not like Rocket Man. I didn't enjoy the Elton John movie, Rocket Man. I did not enjoy that movie at all. It was too much musical crap in it. Yeah, I know it's his music, but I didn't like the fantasy stuff.
No,
But
the
this
thing
one
about
was-
music, the thing about Rocket Man was, it wasn't even Elton John singing.
Yeah, exactly. And
How
I
are you
didn't
going to
care for
listen
the
to Elton
fantasy.
John without hearing him?
In this movie, there was a lot of singing, but it was him on stage, and it's just,
He didn't eat a lot, did he?
you know, I don't think the movie's gonna do well because when I left the stadium, the show, it was only I was probably the youngest guy there, honestly. It was
Really?
people in the 50s, but man, when you look at this guy's work, if you really think about it, Elvis was the first badass of all musicians. I mean, first of all, you think of Elvis, right? Most young people think of Elvis. He's the token white guy, you know, out of Memphis, you know, the perfect white guy. But actually, he grew up in the African community, in the black community, and his dancing stuff came from the black community. One of his best friends was B.B. King, and what he did on stage came from the black community. It's just they haven't seen a white guy do it, and he gets arrested for dancing. I mean, people hate it. Think about it. You know, people got shit crazy when not Jennifer Lopez, but when Janet Jackson boob came out during halftime at a Super Bowl. You know, people went crazy when Elvis started shaking his legs on stage. It's amazing.
It's true.
He got arrested. They told him, if you do something, you're gonna get arrested. And that part's true, that in the movie that he did move like a finger, and they arrested him. You know, I mean, he took one for the. You just don't look at that, you know. And then he got arrested, and he had a choice of jail time or go in the military. Of course, we all know when he was in the military that he had the cakewalk assignments. They're not gonna put Elvis on the front line to fight. But you know, he probably had all steak dinners with the officers. You know, he was treated like royal. But you gotta admire the guy, and if you guys don't know his history, you know, his manager screwed him over, fucked him over. I mean, Elvis was a slave, not even knowing he was a slave.
usually
It's almost
do.
like the story of the Beach Boys singer, where he actually did have mental issues, Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson. Yeah.
And his psychologist or whatever made him sign papers not knowing what he's signing, trying to steal everything from him. I mean, it's weird how you think these rock stars are gods and stuff, but they were being screwed over that they didn't even know that they were being screwed over. I mean,
Very
he
true.
fired his manager, but finding out that the manager was taking, you know, if you fired me, you owe me like $80 million. So he had to stick with him.
Why does this sound so? It sounds so familiar to the Elton John story.
Well, because listen, when these people are, you remember, Elvis grew up poor. When somebody throws you a bone, you're taking it
Yeah.
because you want the stardom so bad that you're not realizing that these people are just using you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's the same story for a lot of people are, you know, to this day getting used. I mean, it's all through history that musicians.
Cassie's still sharing out. Thanks, Cassie.
To me, it's fascinating. It's fascinating that.
Hey, Eric, I also wanted to say that your show today was awesome, man. I love that part about the Cecil Hotel.
Yeah.
and Chateau Marmont.
That was yesterday. Cecil Hotel was yesterday. Today was the New Orleans Hotel.
What? I'm getting my days mixed up.
Yeah, so the Cecil Hotel was yesterday. Today's hotel was called. Hold on. Let me.
Where was
I'll get you the actual name.
Mandela effect. You have missing time, Spooky.
Mandela effect.
Do you have,
Yeah,
do you have missing
today's
time?
was.
Yes. Been wanting this. To
Here it
happen
is.
to me.
It was the haunting experience at the Hotel Montalone in New Orleans. Yesterday was Cecil Hotel.
Okay. Well, yesterday I liked the show.
And then yesterday, dude, I thought Cassie gave me a Mandela effect yesterday because in the chat, Cassie put tonight's Paranormal Chop Shop shows on, and I'm like, today Friday? What happened to Thursday? And not realizing she made a mistake. It was for tomorrow.
Oh yeah. I did.
Remember?
I recognize
I'm like,
that. Yeah.
I was really thinking, is today Friday? Am I going to movies tonight?
Better get ready.
See, she wrote, I fooled you.
I still have to wash my Jedi robe.
Oh, you gotta get yourself one, Chad. Get yourself a Jedi robe. You look
I
good in
should.
one.
Then you and I can do readings together in our Jedi robes.
Yeah.
You know, think
that
about
would
the airflow you'll get in that scooter within a Jedi robe too.
Okay. All right.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I gotta let up. I gotta stop.
DJ missed it earlier. We were
You
talking
gotta
about my
I
scooter.
gotta give Obi-Wan Kenobi credit, all right? Because that fucking robe is hot wearing it. And Obi-Wan Kenobi's wearing it in the desert. My God. That's a tough son of a bitch.
Oh, Eric, I wanted to ask you. So you believe that they spent way more time, effort, and cash on Mandalorian compared to the other series that they're making?
Overall, the best Disney series is The Mandalorian. They did it right. Obi-Wan Kenobi series was good, but it just seems like when you watch,
I only watched the first two
Stranger
episodes.
Things, season 4, every episode over an hour, and the special effects were top notch. And then you watch Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is a good story, but some of the special effects it's like, where's the special effect? Watch, if you guys have a chance, watch episode 5 when Darth Vader is bringing down a ship. It looked like he was bringing down a ship in a video
You're not
game.
allowed to show that, are you, Chad?
Oh, hell no. Disney would...
No. And then there's a scene where Obi-Wan and Anakin were sparring. They didn't even de-age his face. They put a 40-year-old man to pretend that he was like in his 18 years old.
Really?
They didn't even bother to de-age his face. Now, it didn't take away from the story, but I'm just thinking, Disney, man, they're kind of cheap. Especially when you have one of the two most main characters of all Star Wars, Obi-Wan, Darth Vader. You would think they would put, like almost motion picture type of money in a series.
Are you not even able to share a still image?
Oh, we can share still images, yeah.
Just dropped it in the private.
Spoiler alert, Eric. Did you give out any spoilers?
Spoiler alert.
Ah,
Oh,
spoilers!
jeez.
Come on, streaming service. They should have watched it already. The one with the ship. That was episode 5. And it's just so weird. It's like Disney's model. Hey, we're gonna give you a season, but they might be a 30-minute show, 40 minutes. Like, can I get an hour?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, can you at least give me an hour? I mean, god damn, dude. I'm telling you, Stranger Things, every episode was like an hour, 20 minutes, hour and a half.
That's the
Yeah.
ship
And
you're
when-
talking
and when
about?
you watch the real footage, I mean, it looks so bad when he brings the ship down. I mean, it looked like a video game. And it was just weird. It was just weird. Listen, it probably costs more money than the average show because it's a sci-fi show. But I don't know.
They
But
got
like
a
you-
30-second clip, but I know
but-
we can't watch it.
We could probably... See, I don't know. Eric, can we watch it without sound?
No,
Uh,
I don't think so. Not
uh,
a Disney.
Not Disney Star Wars stuff.
Are you
No.
sure?
Now, it'll probably be a copyright where they get all the ad service. It's not going to be like a strike copyright.
I mean, will you even
dropped
get
it.
flagged if you play it without audio?
yeah, you can get flagged without
Okay.
audio.
I just want to make sure.
Dude, you could get flagged with a thumbnail if they say it's too much. Like one of my shows on the Horror Talk channel got taken down because of the thumbnail of Venom.
Enzo.
They
Spoiler
took
alert.
a video down of me and Connor talking good things about Venom because I used a thumbnail that had Venom in it.
Oh. Huh.
None of the.
I'll have to remember that. Because we play a lot of stuff, and as long as we don't play the audio, it doesn't even get a flag. But I'm sure stuff like Disney, they're a little bit different.
Well,
Chad, how much longer do you want to go live?
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention. We can get off here. I'm over here slamming caffeine like crazy, so I don't even realize what's going on. Yeah, we can take
I'm
this
saying
bitch
tequila. I'm just kidding.
but actually,
If not, I gotta take a break.
off. All right, man. Yeah, we can shut her on down.
let me show you this, Chad, real quick. Let me show you this.
All right, go ahead.
Can I show?
Oh,
Can I show? Okay,
Yeah.
like we're talking about copyrights, right? Like the show I did today. Okay, I actually got a copyright claim on it. See details. Now I put an appeal on it, so they wrote the word escrow. What that means is they'll decide if there's copyright or not. The 5 cents that I'll make will be in escrow.
oh,
Okay.
okay.
If you
You're
scroll
holding it.
down, the reason I got not a strike, a copyright on it because right down here there was a 20. See where it says 3212, 3233.
Mm-hmm.
There was a 20-second music sound that's being claimed by a third party, and it was only on there for 20 seconds.
Oh,
So they put a claim on a video on a show today that I did for an hour and 15 minutes for a 20-second sound clip. And that's just 20 seconds from a third party. Now that's not even that's not even the footage that is owned by or whoever put it out. That's by a third party music. So it's a weird world about copyrights and all that. Now, like I said, I submit a claim that under the fair clause I can use
Fair
it,
use.
but like I said, only a judge can technically do it. But will they release it, or will there going to be bastards and fight for 20 seconds? Now, one good thing is YouTube will allow me to clip out the music part if I want to. But before I do that, I wanted to see if they'll wise up and say, "Come on, 20 seconds, really?
right. Yeah,
You're
but
gonna
they're probably-
copyright a whole hour video for 20 seconds?"
I cannot believe they have people sitting around
It's bots.
dissecting all of this shit.
It's
Yes,
just all
It's just
AI now.
pre-programmed in the AI.
That's a third
Oh, my
party. That was a third party for a 20-second sound.
Yeah, it's pretty sad, man.
Yep.
Sucks.
And the funny thing is that same footage that I got claimed there, I tested on my other channel, passed the copyright. No claim on it. Why is that? What did they pick and choose?
Not as money hungry, I guess.
And that's today.
D's looking for Linda.
Yeah, guys, we're looking for Linda, so you know what that means. We're gonna give out the thank yous. Thank you, Big Willie, for hanging out with us on the panel today. Thank you to Gary Brand for joining us as the guest for this evening. We're gonna have to get you back on and talk some Bigfoot. Thank you,
Get you on the
Sonny.
morning channel. Get you on the morning channel.
Yeah, we'll get him on the morning show.
Yep.
So, Big Willie, do you do your own show on YouTube, or are you mostly on Space Out Radio?
Mainly on Spaced Out Radio, but who knows? Big Willie's Bits might make an appearance one day. We're gonna
I'm
have to
telling
see.
you, dude. I think you should you should have your own channel. You'd
Big
be awesome.
Willie's Bits.
Who knows? I'm thinking about it. It's cooking there.
It's been some kind of a good show. Coin. Thanks, Brassel, for hanging out with us, dude. I love it. Anybody that is a member of the Chad Smith Podcast second tier or the Paranormal Chop Shop second tier, and you have a private invite for the after party, get ready. Get your snacks ready. Get your drinks ready. Right after this, we're going to meet you in the after party.
And we're bringing our nipples.
That's right. Bear nipples. So as long as anybody else has anything else to plug, Eric, when's your show on?
My next show is Monday at back to 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Pacific.
And my premiere, I gave everybody a date of my 2D animation premiere. The premiere is going to be Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific.
Awesome, dude.
If anybody cares for a 2D animation paranormal style.
Heck
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna care about that, man. You put a lot of time and money into that, so we'll share it out for sure.
Sunday on YouTube, I'll be with Akashi Chris, Carl the Crusher, and special musical guest Lee from First Floor Audio, 1
Yes,
p.m.
sir.
Pacific, Sunday.
That's gonna be a great one. I'm glad that you remembered to plug that because I forgot. But thank you.
Thank you.
Sweet. Awesome, guys. Well, that was another episode of the Paranormal Chop Shop.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll see you on Tuesday.
That's right. See you in Tuesday.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.